Jessica?
Thank you. So my name is Jessica Langbaum. I'm a scientist at Banner Alzheimer's Institute in Phoenix, Arizona, and serve as the Associate Director for the Alzheimer's Prevention Initiative Program, which is a collaborative effort conducting clinical trials in people who, based on age, genetics, or biomarker results, are at elevated risk for developing symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. This includes a trial in Colombia, South America, with a very rare form of Alzheimer's disease, an autosomal dominant mutation, where there the community standard is to not know their genetic results, and they're very clear about that. We also have trials in people who have a genetic susceptibility factor for the more common form of Alzheimer's disease that strikes at older ages. And in these trials, we do return some genetic and biomarker results to participants, so I can speak to some of the practical issues in that regard. But really what I'm here to speak today about is a program that we had to develop to think about how we would efficiently identify prospective participants for global trials enrolling people with a genetic susceptibility factor for Alzheimer's disease. A few years ago, we developed a program called Gene Match, which is a genetic registry designed to help match people to Alzheimer's research studies based in part on their genetic background. In this study right now, we're only looking at one genetic susceptibility factor, and that's ApoE. That is the best established and really only genetic risk factor that's well established for Alzheimer's disease right now. When we were developing the program, we consulted with a variety of experts, legal, ethical, psychologists, you name it, on the thought of returning results to individuals in this program, because we are using a CLIA-certified lab. And really what it comes down to right now in our field, current guidelines do not recommend that people learn their ApoE test results. Knowing this information does not tell you whether you will develop Alzheimer's disease, when you would develop it, or what to do about it. But there were other considerations. So again, just to help elaborate on our thinking, there's the recommendation that if you are to learn your ApoE test results, you should receive this information by speaking to a genetic counselor or healthcare professional. Our field is still grappling with and learning how to best communicate these results to individuals, what delivery modalities are available, whether counseling can be done in person, telemedicine such as phone or video conferencing, web module, et cetera, are appropriate. In addition, in consulting with our legal experts, not only does the collection of DNA fall under the practice of medicine in some U.S. states, laboratory law regarding a lab's ability to accept samples from all U.S. states, and return of genetic results, including licensure for genetic counselors across all 50 states. In some states, that's a problem, presented with a more even complicated legal landscape for us, and then HIPAA also came into play. Sorry. And I think it's important to note that when we were designing the program, we really did not want to be viewed as a free research version of a direct-to-consumer genetic testing program. Gene Match launched at a time when direct-to-consumer genetic testing companies were prohibited for returning ApoE results to their customers. So we made the decision to collect DNA on individuals for ApoE testing by a CLIA lab. And then when individuals are referred to a research study that would require them to learn their test results, they're able to make an informed decision whether to learn those results at that time. And then, of course, then those studies can return the results in the manner that is compliant with state laws. And of course, then being able to use appropriately licensed individuals. I'll just speak to quickly why some individuals, Gene Match has enrolled over 40,000 people so far in the US, but there are some reasons why people decide not to join. There's a persistent fear of breach of privacy, fear of discrimination. For instance, if their results were to be found out, their ApoE test results, how could they be discriminated against from health insurance, et cetera, long-term care, and the government? And lastly, the other reason why people decide not to join is they want to know their results and they don't like that we aren't giving it to them. As a field, I think we have to put public policies in place to ensure that individuals who do learn their genetic or biomarker results are not discriminated against, particularly as we move forward with large-scale programs like All of Us. For example, in the field of Alzheimer's disease right now, many trials are requiring individuals to learn whether they have elevated brain amyloid. It's important to point out that knowing whether you have elevated brain amyloid does not guarantee that you will or won't develop Alzheimer's disease. However, there's no protections in place for returning this result. Let's say you know that you now have elevated brain amyloid. Are you able to get long-term care insurance? What protections are in place for your health care insurance? And then we're still learning about how to best communicate these results in a way that's scalable. For instance, could we return results via a web portal first to individuals and then triage to other healthcare professionals as necessary, who are experienced and trained in providing these results to individuals? So I think I'll end with that.